Based on all this research on the mind-body unity, what would you recommend we say if you have been diagnosed with cancer and then you just cure it? Don't use the word remission.
Well, I think that if the medical world tells you you're in remission, you should remember what I'm saying now.
But what would you say instead?
I would say you're cured.
Great.
And if you're cured from a cold, doesn't mean you won't get another cold.
Well, and I think it's important because the language matters. And you talked about stress, that if you are in quote remission, you are bracing for 5 years. It is in the back of your mind, which means you're activating the stress response, medically speaking.
Now, Mel, I believe, so everything I've said so far is based on hard research. Stress is our major killer. I was going to do this study years during COVID, right before COVID, with people in China, and it just didn't happen. Well, we take people who were diagnosed with cancer, so hundreds of people, different kinds of cancer. And, anybody who's just told they have cancer is not going to be a happy camper. Everybody's going to be stressed and unhappy. So let's give them 3 weeks to adjust to it. And then after 3 weeks, we measure them once a month. How stressed are they? Mm-hmm. I believe that degree of stress will predict the course of the disease over and above genetics, nutrition, and even treatment.
Well, isn't that because stress impacts your immune system?
Everything, and not just everything on any level is impacting everything simultaneously. Okay, so now add that to what I said before is that events don't cause stress. What causes stress are our views of events. So we can control stress. If stress is the major killer, then clearly learning how. Now, so let me give you a couple of one-liners for people who haven't, I don't know if what I've just said is clear or not, but next time you're stressed, ask yourself, is it a tragedy or an inconvenience? Because almost always, it's not a tragedy. I spoiled the meal, I missed the appointment, I banged the car, so what? And so that you immediately breathe a sigh of relief. Now, next time you're stressed, do this. Ask yourself, what are because stress requires two things. It requires a belief that something is going to happen, and when it happens, it's going to be awful. Okay, so you're stressed. Give yourself 3-4 reasons why it won't even happen. Now, you're immediately less stressed because it was definitely going to happen, and maybe it will, maybe it won't. Now, the harder part. Let's assume it does happen. How is that actually an advantage? And once you do that, okay, so we did an early study with people about to undergo major surgery. Mm-hmm. And so I taught them this procedure essentially. And then I said to them to see if they understood it. Okay, so let's say the doctor tells you the surgery has to be delayed, so you have to spend another few days in the hospital. The people who think they got it but didn't would say, it's all right, I'll tolerate it. No, it's a good thing. So if I'm, what are the advantage to my being in the hospital? Somebody else is controlling all that I'm eating. I won't get a million phone calls in the middle of the night. I have more time to myself. I can read. I can watch whatever, movies I want to watch. It's delightful. Okay, so now you tell me I have to spend 3 more days in the hospital. That's great. More reading, more relaxing, more dieting, self-imposed, and so on. And so we would go through it again until they finally got it. And when they did, the surgeries went better. They needed fewer sedatives and pain relievers.
Because they were relaxed and just in flow.
Exactly. And, even with respect to chronic illnesses, which I have a lot of information on in the book, as you recall, where you're given a diagnosis of a chronic illness. And what that means to people is nothing I can do about it. This is going to stay the same or get worse. And all it means, the word chronic means, is the medical world doesn't have a solution yet. It doesn't mean that there aren't solutions. So we did some research where I take people who have all sorts of chronic illnesses, and, you recognize no symptom stays the same. And nothing always moves in one direction. It's not, it gets bad and worse and worse. With the stock market, if the stock market is going up, it doesn't go up in a straight line. It goes up, down a little, up, down. And, we draw a line through all those curves. It's tending to go up. Same thing with any of our symptoms. Okay. But people hold it still and think it's just getting worse because you get whatever you're looking for. That's why I said before, don't be a pessimist, because if you're looking for negative, you're going to find negative. If you're looking for positive, just look without the evaluation. At any rate, we did a lot of studies on what I call attention to symptom variability. It's a mouthful. It just means being mindful. Being mindful is noticing change. Attention to the changing of your symptoms. Okay, so we call people periodically throughout the day, throughout the week.
Who have a chronic illness.
Okay. And we simply ask them, how is the symptom now? And is it better or worse than the last time I called? And why? And that's the crucial question. Okay, so what happens now? First, most of us, when we have chronic illnesses, feel helpless and awaiting, especially for what's the next thing the medical world is going to give. So now all of a sudden we're doing something for ourselves. That feels good. Now when we're noticing the symptoms and we see it got a little better, that feels good because we thought it was only moving in one direction. Now, when we ask the question, why did it feel better or even worse from the moment before? That engages us in a mindful search. And that mindfulness is good for our health. The neurons are firing. It's good for us, even if it doesn't tell us what the actual cause is of the symptom changing. All right. And I believe that you're going to be more likely to find a solution if you're actually looking for one.